Hi, I am Vivian. I'm presenting Tie the Strings, My Life, My Lord by Emily Dickinson, What the Old Uneducated Woman Told Me by Christopher Reid, and The Lonely Weds Know by Leah Furness. I chose these poems because they all illuminate how people reflect on life. The first poem is Tie the Strings to My Life, My Lord by Emily Dickinson. Tie the strings to my life, my lord, then I am ready to go. Just look at the horses. Rapid that will do. Put me on the firmest side, so I shall never fall. For we must ride through judgment, and it's partially downhill. But never mind the bridges, and never mind the seas. Held fast in everlasting race, by my own choice and thee. Goodbye to the life I used to lives, and to the world I used to know. And kiss the hills for me just once. Now I am ready to go. In the first poem, Emily Dickinson reflects upon life and determines what she wants for life before God decides that her time is up. In the next poem, an old woman discusses how she wishes things were different as she reflects upon life. That she was glad to sit down, that her legs hurt in spite of the medicine, and that times were bad, and that her husband has died nearly 30 years before, and the world has changed, that the new priest looked like a schoolboy and you could barely hear him in church, and that pigs were better company, generally speaking, than goats, that no one could fool her, that both her sons had married stupid women, that her son-in-law drove a truck, that he had once delivered something to the president's palace, that his flat was on the 7th floor and it made her dizzy to think about it, that he had brought her presents from the black market, that an alarm clock was no use to her, that she could no longer walk back into town, that all her friends were dead, that I should be careful around mushrooms, that ghosts never came to the house where a sprig of rosemary had been hung, that the cinema was a ridiculous invention, and that modern dances were absolutely no good, and that her husband had a beautiful singing voice until drinking just ruined it, that the world has changed, that she had seen a map where the war had been fought, that Hitler was definitely in hell right now, that children were cheekier than ever, that it was going to be cold winter, you could tell from the height of the bird's nest, that even a suit was expensive these days, that she had a long life and she was not afraid of dying, that times were very bad. Whereas the previous poem reflected upon life from an older woman, this poem shows a woman reflecting on life with her partner and how she is by herself. Leah Furness, the author of The Lonely Weds Knows, writes that it isn't about the golden anniversary at all, but all about the unremarkable years that Hallmark doesn't make a card for. It's about the second anniversary, and they were surprised to find that they cared for each other way more than last year. And the 4 kids, and the 4th when both kids had chicken pox, and she threw a shoe at him for no real reason. And the 6th when he accidentally got drunk on the way home from work because being a husband and a father was so damn hard. It's about the 11th, the 12th, and the 13 years when they discovered they could survive crisis, and the 22nd when they looked at each other across the empty nest and found it really good. It's about the 37th year when she finally decided that she could never change him, and the 38th when he decided a little change wasn't that bad. It was about the 46th anniversary when they both had bought cards but forgot to give them to each other. But most of all, it's about the 49th year when they discovered you don't have to be old to have your 50th anniversary. Thank you.